loves a sweet treat every now and then, and a meringue is a perfect treat for many occasions. Put simply, a meringue is a mixture of beaten egg whites and sugar. Egg whites consist of roughly 90% water and 10% protein. When whisked, the proteins unfold and create a network to trap air into the egg whites. That's how they become fluffy and full of volume. With the basics covered, let's get into more specifics. There are 3 different types of meringues: French, Italian, and Swiss. First, we have French meringues. The most important part in a French meringue is the whisking of the egg whites. They either need to be soft peaks, meaning the meringue forms a hook when the whisk is lifted, or stiff peaks, meaning the meringue stands straight up. French meringues are very light in texture and typically used in soufflés, cakes, and certain cookies, like ladyfingers. To cook French meringue, you must bake it at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes. You might be familiar with meringue kisses. However, it is not recommended to use a French meringue recipe to make them, as French meringues are typically dried on low heat rather than baked. It is recommended instead to use an Italian or Swiss meringue recipe. Speaking of, we have Italian meringues next. An Italian meringue starts with boiling water and sugar together until it reaches 244 degrees Fahrenheit, which for you candy makers is a firm ball of sugar. If you don't have a candy thermometer, you can drop a small bit in cold water, and if it stays in a ball, then it's the right temperature. When the sugar is almost up to temp, you should start whisking your egg whites, preferably with a stand mixer. With the whisk going, slowly drizzle the sugar syrup over the egg whites. This method cooks the egg whites, making it safe for both unbaked treats and the previously mentioned meringue kisses. If this isn't your style, try out a Swiss meringue. Third, we have Swiss meringue. The defining difference between the aforementioned types of meringues and a Swiss one is that the sugar and egg whites are heated together in what's called a bain-marie, meaning a container of hot water with a bowl in it. Think a double boiler, until it gets to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. To test it, you rub a tiny bit between your fingers. If you can't feel the sugar, that means it's been fully incorporated and you're ready to go. At this point, you'll remove it from the heat and break out your mixer of choice and beat the mixture until it reaches soft or stiff peaks, recipe depending, of course. Adding the sugar at the beginning means that the finished product will have less volume and be more dense than a French meringue. Swiss meringue is amazing for pie toppings and the meringue kisses, with no worry of salmonella, as the egg has been brought to a safe temp. The meringue also holds its shape very well, so it's less likely to drip off your baked good. In conclusion, there are 3 types of meringues: French, Italian, and Swiss. They are all good choices for certain things. Personally, I like Italian meringue, but to truly pick a favorite, you'll have to try them all for yourself. I hope this was an enlightening experience, and that you've all learned something new. And who knows, maybe this will inspire some of you to get in the kitchen and crack some eggs yourself.